Hello guys, you're welcome back to my channel, and in today's tutorial I'm going to be putting you through how to pad your hip and your butt. The materials I'll be using is our normal breast cup pad and this foam like breast pad, which usually comes in ash and black color. Now the black is thicker than the ash, so we'll be using both of them for this hip padding, so please stay tuned. The measurement we'll be working with is our hip measurement, of course. We'll be dividing our hip measurement by 2 and also going to divide it 2 by 2. That's what I'm trying to say, that we're going to get the quarter measurement, which is 10.5 inches. I'm working with a hip 42. Now, once you get to 10.5 inches, we'll be subtracting 2 inches. Why? Because you want to have a balancing with the padding and your hip so that the padding won't merge with your zip, to have smoothness at that area. So now I'm taking down my 8.5 inches across. Another measurement you should have in mind is your waist, the length of your waist to your underbutt plus 2 or 3 inches, nothing more. Yeah, so mine is 14 inches, which I'm taking note of right here. I'm going to roll it out and square it out with my 8.5 inches. Then I'm going to go 1 inch on both sides, like so, just like what I'm doing right here. I'm taking my 1 inch on both sides, the up and the down part. Then I'm going to mark my half inch, my half measurement for this, which is 14 divided by 2, which is 7. Then I'll go ahead to shaping the butt, taking note of my 3 inches I added under the hip, under the butt measurement, like under the butt, taking note of it to curve it at the end edge part of it. So now next is our front pattern. Now the front, I'm going to use same measurement just as I used in the back. I'm using the same 14 inches. Then I'm going to go in by make the length, the width to be 5 inches. I'm working with the 5 inches width. Yes, I'm working with the 5 inches width. I'm going to square it out with the 14 inches length. I'll go in by 1 inch just as I did at the back part, the up and the down part of it. Then I'll look for the middle point, which is 7 inches, then draft it to meet. So another thing you take note of is the front part of the padding. You come down by 1.5 inches. That is to give it that V shape, so it doesn't go all straight in front of it. Now just bring it down so it has that V shape, to like the V shape in your waist measurement in front. So here I am drafting it out on, not drafting, cutting it out. My god, cutting it out. So I went ahead to cut it on my pad. I'm using the ash one for this tutorial. I'm not using the black because the black is not enough for me to complete this tutorial. So now here I have joined it together. Yes, I have joined the both sides together. As you can see, the slanted area is going to be at the front side because it's the waistline, and I went ahead to sew on the edges. Yeah, so why I did so is so that it will have a flat finishing. It would not show when you insert it on the dress. I stitched on it, I sewed on it 3-4 times on it, so it's flattened. Then I went ahead with my scissors to trim the excess edges for a smooth finishing. So here I'm going to reduce my pattern because I want to add more layers to my to the pads. Now you can actually work with the pad at this stage, but if you want more volume, you go ahead with this procedure I'm doing right here. Now you reduce the pattern just like I'm doing here, both the front and the back part of it. And lining needs to make sure that you are reducing both the front and the back at the same point. Check measuring it up to make sure that at the same point like I did. Then you go ahead and cut out each layer after you're done with the first layer before you can cut out the next layer. So this is what I was doing. I was cutting out the next layer. So for this tutorial, I'll be using just one layer for it because my cousin did not want too much padding. So I'll be working with one layer for this, and you can actually double each layer, like double it. I'm just laying it single, but you can decide to double each layer before each layer to just add extra fullness. Then you can get this BBL but you get my point. I don't know if I'm using the right terms, but I know you get what I'm trying to say. So at this point, I'm showing you guys how I joined it together. Now I did not just sew it together on the foam part, because this foam, once you stitch on it, it will have a line that you stitch on, like that place is going to press. So what I did was that I joined it together to the I joined it with the sewing allowance I got from sewing, like I'm showing you here. You can decide to sew the next layer together, but I choose not. If you do that, that means you have to be sewing on to attach it to it. You have to sew on top of the foam breast part, and that was what I was avoiding. I don't want any stitch to be on it so that it does not press or the line doesn't show. So you just join it to the allowance on when you stitch the two parts together. So yeah, this I was also showing you guys here how to add the next layer. Now the next layer, you add your next layer, you sew your next layer to the previous layer. Yeah, that's what I was showing you here. And remember, we are trying to avoid the stitch being shown on the main part itself, like the front part. So try to avoid that as much as possible, whereby you're stitching each layer on the previous layer. Now we're moving ahead to attaching it to our lining. Now you must have actually pressed your seam allowance flat. They were going to go down by 2 inches from your waistline of your lining. That is where we are going to be pinning our padding to before we sew it to it. We'll do the same for both sides, then we'll attach it to it, then we'll take it to our sewing machine. So there's one thing I forgot to mention. If you want the butt to have more volume, like for those that does not have big butts but they have wide waists, you add extra volume on the back side than the front side. Like you double the back layer, then single the front layer. Now that will give more volume at the back than at the front, like give you bigger butts but lesser hip. I don't know if that makes sense. Like while laying it together, you add excess to the back and less to the front part of it. So that will give you more volume at the front, more volume at the back instead of the front. So do you get my point? Now at this point, after you're done pinning it together and you sew it together, making sure that the center part is merging with the sewing allowance, like the place you join the two parts together is at the center of the clothes, the lining, the sewing allowance of the lining. And when you're sewing, you have to make sure there is no excess in between it. Then I'm going to join it together to our skirt and cover it up so that everything will be balanced, making sure that the sewing allowance for the waist side is the same in both the lining and the main fabric before I'm going to sew it up. So now this is what it looks like before I added the padding. Now this is not my measurement, so you guys should know it's my cousin, so that's why there's excess on the waist. But this is what it looks like before I added the padding to it. So guys, this is what it looks like after I have added the padding to the main fabric. It's looking super shaped, and believe me, it looks better on my cousin than is looking on me right now. So thank you very much for staying to the end of this video. Please do not forget to subscribe if you're new, like, share, and turn up the notification bell for future videos. So now stay super blessed until my next video. Bye for now.